Spreaker going live.
Let's let them hear the jam.
All right. The Facefuckers are going live.
Got a countdown yet?
Nah, but we live on Spreaker.
What's up, Spreaker? Saints Sinners Podcast.
Hello, Spreaker. Hello. 2, 1, and we are live.
Boom, boom. It's a good jam there. What's that?
Stone face, no reaction.
She's all about the fucking.
face.
She's competitive, bro. She's got laser sharp focus. She's all about her craft.
I found a picture of your cat.
Oh, good shit, man.
That's actually
What's up, guys? We are the Saints and Sinners Podcast,
Saints and Sinners live.
part of the Tailgate Sports Network. Also, we got our buddies, our partners in crime, Who Dat Podcast as well. They're taking a little break right now, but look, man, Tailgate Sports, we got the shirts, representation, man.
Yeah. I got my.
C, of course, did not wear his.
I got
today.
my Heisenberg shirt on. My Tailgate Sports shirt is
That's
in
you
the
and
washer.
Heisenberg?
I need to have one. At least two. To rotate. But
like Heisenberg, like Breaking Bad Heisenberg.
Yeah, Heisenberg.
Nice,
It's my
man.
Heisenberg shirt.
So you not selling meth, by the way? Huh? You good,
No. I'm just Breaking Bad in other ways.
Breaking Bad, baby. We're back at it, man. I know we're going to talk a few things for sure, man. Had a great show the other night, man. We talked a lot about Kobe. We really dedicated that show to Kobe, essentially. We're going to talk a little more of Kobe's effect on some other areas. We're going to talk a little Pels. Definitely going to talk about Super Bowl 54 that's happening this Sunday from Miami. Fort Lauderdale, technically, but you know what I mean. It's Miami, man. Everybody knows it is Miami. But before we go on, man, I think you should give these people what they want. See, give them what they want, man.
Y'all know what time it is. I better not be that excited because it's daytime. January 30th, 2020.
There you go.
2020. Get your eyes checked.
There you go, guys. Real quick, let's lead off with this. Let's lead off with the Pels. Pels, they beat Cleveland. Impressive win the other night. Good performances off the bench. Couple double-digit bench scorers. J.J. Redick, Nicolo Melli, both went for double digits. But big story, Brandon Ingram got his stuff back together. He found his mojo again, which was good. He had a nice 24-point game, I believe
the thing
it was.
that happened, and the thing that Pels fans needs to hope that continues to happen, is you had your three best players play good on the same night.
Right.
You had Zion with a near double-double. You had Drew with a really good game, and you had Brandon Ingram, who was very efficient from the field.
That's the
9
challenge.
for 13.
That's the challenge right now. Because remember, like I said, this is Zion's first 4 games now. They've won 2 games in a row with Zion, so that's a good sign. I mean, you're right there in the hunt, of the last playoff spot. That's a golden opportunity that you have in front of you. But like you said, the chemistry's starting to happen. Because Ingram, he got off to a little bit of a rough start. I mean, he was, for the guy that's been pretty much a good chance of being your lone all-star representative, with the season he's had, he's been kind of off since Zion arrived, trying to find, where he fits in the mix. He's had some bad shooting nights. But Drew Holiday, huge game the other night. Brandon Ingram, huge game. Zion got his most minutes, 30 minutes. He had 14 points and I think 9 rebounds. So a solid game. I mean, we'll take that. I mean, that's pretty solid. 14 and 9 when Ingram and Holiday go off. He's doing his job.
With the caveat that it is against the Cavs.
Oh, no, it was a Cavs, but you got to win every game. I mean, you got to go out and beat these teams. I mean, they've had some Boston quality win the other night, at home. But going on the road, even these shit teams like Cleveland, you got to take care of business because you don't want to look back last week of the season and say, hey, man, if we only would have beat that team, we'd be the A seed right now, So, I mean, but they did their thing. They dominated that game, won by double digits. They got a huge game tomorrow. Memphis, a rematch from the Martin Luther King Day game where the Pelicans really controlled that game from the second quarter on. Ja Morant, the Rookie of the Year, likely Rookie of the Year, is coming to town. Pels did a great job last time. They really swarmed him well with Lonzo and Drew Holiday on
What do you
defense.
say about the people that are saying that Zion should win it after 4 games?
It's a little soon. I'm ecstatic about Zion. Anybody that dude, I love everything that kid's doing has been amazing to me. He's been outstanding. But you got to give Ja. I mean, right now, I can't make a statement on that. No telling what the rest of the season is going to hold. We still got a lot of games to play. But right now, it's Ja Morant's award. You know what I'm saying? But Ja Morant's outstanding. But the Pels did a great job against him. Like we said about Memphis, Jonas Valanciunas, the center. Dylan Brooks had like a 30-point game in a losing effort the last time we played. So you got to be aware of guys like that. That's, Jaren Jackson Jr. has got a load of talent. That'll be a great matchup. I'm sure him and Zion are going to cross paths a few times in this game. But that's tomorrow night from the Blender, and that's a massive game because the Grizzlies have that 8th seed currently, and to beat them 2 times in a row, gain a game in the standings, that'll be huge.
While getting an edge in tiebreaker.
Absolutely. Big time game. And a lot of teams that we've been kind of fighting with for that last playoff spot won last night. So this becomes kind of an important game on a Friday night downtown NOLA, man. I hope y'all come out and, get crazy into Smoothie King Center, man, and do your thing. Crowd, they've been great lately. Ever since the arrival of Zion, man, the crowd's been like playoff atmosphere most nights. What you got there, man? I see you.
Oh, man, I like the welcome into the stage.
Bring them on in, man. Tell them mofos to come in.
One of our Whack Pack, the leading member, Miss Heather Lemeron.
Heather, what's
also
up?
known as Little Feet.
Heather, what's going on? We're going to be dropping some more Wheezy. See, dropped a little Wheezy if you stuck around towards the end of the last podcast. A little Wheezy song for Kobe years ago that he did. Heather, I know you're a big Wheezy fan. Go check that out. It's a worthy checkout for sure. Excellent song.
I don't know if the sound was working good, but you can YouTube it. It's the Lil Wayne Kobe song. You type that in, you'll find it pretty easy.
Yeah. Just that's probably all you need right there. Lil Wayne plus Kobe, and you'll probably have it. But the Pels, like I said, we did our due diligence. Winning these games, beating Cleveland, a team that you should beat. Like I said, there's a big game tomorrow night, and the trade deadline's next week in the NBA. I don't suspect we're going to talk about this a little more. It's the 6th, February the 6th is the trade deadline. We're going to talk more about this in our next podcast, but I don't see anything with the Pelicans. I mean, can you really? I think you got to let this ride out. I think you're going into the right direction with this team. They're very young. I don't think there's any reason. I mean, we've seen Pat, our good friend Pat Riley, who's, part of the Tailgate Sports Group. Pat mentioned that Boston wants to go hard on Brandon Ingram and offer just all this total package of draft picks. To me, I say no, hands down. I don't even look at an offer for Brandon Ingram
honestly, right now. The book's out on Boston.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge likes to do deals. Like some people in some fantasy leagues like to do.
Backdoor deals.
Where they're only doing deals if they can backdoor the other team. So he's going to try to
Correct.
He's going to try to throw you Taco Fall and some long conveyed first round picks and hope to get Brandon
I don't
Ingram.
think David Griffin and Trajan Langdon going to go for that shit. I'll tell you this right now. Let me ask you this, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram are 2 of the most untradeable players in the league right now, in my opinion, especially for the Pels. I mean, there's no way I'm trading Brandon Ingram. Seeing what he's doing this year, looking like a baby Kevin Durant almost, and then Zion just has the future in front of him. I mean, like to me, that's like I don't want to trade anybody. I want to keep this thing the way it is. We mentioned before about Damian Lillard, but I think that kind of cooled off a little bit. But if somebody like that came available, that would make me think a little bit. But to me, Steven Adams, we talked about that. But the guys I'm seeing pitched around, like Andre Drummond, Andre Iguodala wants to go obviously to like a team that's on the cusp. He wants to go to a top 3 seed, so he's out the question. Although he'd be a great player to have.
If I'm the Pels, I'm trying to hold on to all of those young guys, and I'm trying to move the auxiliary pieces for a star. You have the picks, you have the draft capital, you have the so-called war chest.
Yeah, war chest is
to go to war with, and you can trade the auxiliary pieces if if you want to trade anybody outside the big 3, which you're growing towards. You're hoping those guys can show that kind of chemistry. Against better teams, and they have a chance against Memphis coming up.
Absolutely, and I'll say this too about some people are always Lonzo is one of the more polarizing players in the NBA. I like what I've seen from Lonzo lately. He's kind of a love-hate thing. He's just got to keep that consistency. His shot is definitely better. He's worked hard to develop a solid jump shot from deep. I like Lonzo when he's not trying to do too much. He's an innovative passer, but don't get too cute. Don't get too crazy. His defense is pretty much there every night. But don't get too crazy in the offensive end and don't fall in love with the 3 just because you make a couple of them. I want to see him play within himself. And I think Lonzo's a really key piece when he does that.
We're experiencing some influx of people, man.
Bring them
I gotta
on
welcome some people into the stage. And remember, we are interactive podcast.
Yeah, y'all can talk some shit.
So if you throw out some worthy questions, and we I got to catch it over here. I got to see it But if it catches our eye, we're going to definitely jump in and answer it. But we got Charles, CJ, Viviana in the house.
The rivals, man. Christian McCaffrey almost got him a title last year.
We got the former face of Carrollton, Mr. Brad Bauer in the house.
What's up, Bauer?
Double
Power,
Bs.
man. Bauer.
I got 2 Bs.
How the children doing, man? How the children doing, Brad? Man, we got to see our old boy, man. Brad and I, we used to catch games all the time back in the day, man. Brad's a massive basketball fan.
Brad can't catch no games right now. He got all the children running all over the place.
Brad said the TV is right there, and I know what you're saying, bro. I'm the same way, man. I watch from home more than I go to games now, man. It's easier with kids, bro.
We have the face of Sherwin-Williams Magazine, Miss Lorena.
Hey, what's going on? I liked Lorena's comments last time, man. She has some cool stuff to say.
Gets in. She knows it's an interactive podcast.
Speaking of which, and I want to talk kind of something we were talking about last time. We talked about TMZ. Obviously, we pretty much, all due respect, everything was Kobe pretty much last podcast, which it should have been. Real quick, I want to say this before we get into the Super Bowl preview and getting all that good shit. We were looking a little while ago. There's a lot of rumors coming out of New England. Out of the Patriots camp that, Tom Brady's posting stuff on social media. Some people are thinking maybe this is the end for Tom Brady. And we've heard a lot this week. The big news has been the Saints prepared to move on to Taysom Hill if Drew Brees retires. And there's been a lot of talk. It isn't Brees considering retirement. It's Brees feeling strongly about retirement. That's a lot of the postings that we've seen, a lot of the articles. We did one ourselves on tailgate504.com about the Saints are pretty prepared, in my opinion, about what's going to happen. But let me ask you this. This is what I'm getting at. I'm going to cut it down. The Brady and Brees thing. Brady's what, 42, 43? Brees is 41. I know that much.
I'm pretty sure Brady's 42. I think they're have a 1 year.
1 year gap between the two.
Maybe, somewhere in that range.
I know Brees just turned 41. But let's be real. Kobe, 41 years old. Our buddy Adam, that's a writer with us, man, with Tailgate Sports, he made a good point about that. Do you think at all these guys, let's be real, that's a massive effect. This has shook the world with Kobe and his daughter and the 7 others that passed away in the helicopter crash. Is this
even
making
if
them...
you didn't know anything about the player, you can feel for the story and, not only the story, but, a father's relationship, real powerful hashtag's been going out. Girl dad, everybody's been... girl.
You try to hunt for the good things if you can.
Little girls or girls of any age been taking pictures and being proud and showing it, showing off their daughters, and that's been really powerful. But going back to the quarterback situation, Brees and Brady, it's got to affect you. You got to realize, no matter how invincible you seem on the field. Everybody's time is finite. And, you're never going to get those years back to spend with your children.
Yeah.
Each of them have, a few children of their own.
Yeah, you look at that, and it's really hard to ignore. Some people say, how could Brady go out like that? To me, go out like what? He won 6 fucking titles. You know what I'm saying? Brees himself, even if it is just one ring for Brees, that's a Super Bowl ring that Dan Marino doesn't have, that a lot of great players who play this league have never experienced. Playing in one even, you know what I'm saying? To get to Super Bowl and win it like Brees did in 44, that, he looks back and says, hey, I won a Super Bowl. I made 13 Pro Bowls. I had a great run in New Orleans, man. I love it here. But
not only has he had a great run,
it's time to move on maybe.
He made a run the last 3 years.
He
and came up short for various reasons.
So do you keep banging your head into the wall? Do you see all the outside noise going on with what's happening? You can bang your head into
the wall as much as you want. But there's no one to put the blame on this last one.
Right. You just lost.
Do you want to gear up a whole other offseason? It's a year-round sport. You're always, preparing, getting ready.
Training camps,
or you can retire at 41 and spend the rest of your days raising your children. And spending as much time with your family as humanly possible.
Truthfully,
while also pursuing other things that you've always wanted
Absolutely.
to do.
Truthfully to me, obviously financial prowess is there with both guys. They can live 50 lifetimes with the money they have. There's nothing to prove with either one. Let's be real. Some people say that, it's because of the records. They're both considering retirement at the same time. These guys really appreciate those records. I'm not saying those records don't mean anything to those guys, but let's be real. That's not a reason that's going to make them stay around another year or two to break the other's record. That's just silly to me. I don't think that's real. To me, you're there to win. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, even though the quarterback position is pampered, it's still a gladiator sport. You're still one hit away from your quality of life life going to shit
Absolutely.
for the rest of your remaining years.
And it's an
you're
eye
one
opener,
helmet,
man.
You're one helmet to helmet away.
Yeah.
You know, from not having the quality of life with your kids. You're one helmet to the knee away from not being able to, hold your kids.
Yeah, I mean, we see that. I mean, ex-players, I mean, they go through so much trouble